So today's topic is on structure and how this can change your life. When people are focused and come into the session with me, I go through, an understanding of them, take notes on them, I'll find out more about them. I'll go through, what they've done in the past, what their lifestyle's like, what their goal is, and I can get a good understanding of what's going on and what's the problem is for a lot of people. And when you figure out those things that are going on, I can't give them a million bits of advice at once because it will overwhelm them. And trying to change someone's life like overnight is not going to work. So I give them basic principles to follow, like the food, and then I give them the training, and then I give them things to follow as they go. And as they achieve those things, we will then go a little bit deeper. Or I would like to go a little bit deeper depending on how open that person is. So I don't always suggest things to people because I can tell that they might not be receptive to that information. And my understanding for a lot of people is having boundaries with what they're doing, having structure in terms of what they're doing in a day and their daily tasks. And if you stick to those two things, so when I say boundaries, let's break that down. When I say boundaries, that means that what time you're spending on your own, what time you're spending with maybe your family or your partner, what time are you spending in the gym. So having that structure, so then you don't just adhere to anyone's opinion and say, oh well, we're doing this today, and you'll be like, no, this is my structure. Because a lot of people don't have that, and they don't have those boundaries. And the main one for everyone is their work. People don't have boundaries within their work. They'll have a boss that will tell them what to do, and they'll be like, oh, I need to do this. And I've worked with a lot of people at high end, high levels, and they'll have boundaries. I can tell they have boundaries within their life. They have certain structures. I've spoken to them in depth through a lot of things, and they'll have structure compared to people who are not as successful. I'm not saying all successful people do, but the majority of them have certain traits that they'll have in place, which will be those boundaries. So they'll know what to say. If they're not at the top CEO level, they'll know what to say to their boss in terms of what's achieved, what's the hours that they're working. Not all the time, but the vast majority of the time. What times they can do the gym, are they going out for evening dinners? Is that something that they need to do? Are they able to, do they have to go to every single one? They have these conversations. They actually bring these conversations to the front, rather with a lot of people, especially when they're in a corporate job, they hide away, they step back, they get scared, they just go, oh God, I don't want to do that, I want to just basically do what I'm told. And actually, to be honest with you, that's actually probably not what the person wants. They want you to have your structure, they just want you to do your job properly. And if that means that you need to bring up a conversation, then that's what you need to do. And you need to build that structure. And if it's really that terrible, build yourself out of that structure. And the reason I talk about these things is because their goal is to be healthier in life, and they're always up and down like this, and it's a lot to do with the foundation of their job. And if they get that part of it right, where they have a balance, where they know when to work hard and they know when to step back, they know what things they have to do, I actually feel that that's going to know that that makes a massive difference to their life. And that's what my suggestion is today, is to figure out boundaries for people. And that means that even if you're working for yourself and you have your own business, when to cut off. Like, I work for myself, I have my own business. I know when I have my cut off times. I've made those mistakes in the past where I've not. And that's caused me to, have problems with health. Say that, for example, okay, not specifically like unwell, but I'm not sleeping properly, so I'm tired because I'm working too late. That's one thing. Don't get me wrong, my food's always been on point, hydration, training, but sleep is a massive, massive part of it. And that's something that I had to get to grips with myself, is making sure that I have those boundaries, especially working for yourself, where you think, oh, I work for myself, I'll just work any hours. I need to have my structure. These are my working hours. These are the times I do my work. And then boundaries are put in place. And again, for the vast majority of people, most of them have corporate jobs. So if you have that job, find out that structure. If you're starting a job, figure out the structure after it, when you're starting. And I think I personally find that a lot of people will work better with you in the long term anyway, rather than you being scared. And I find that what will happen is you'll end up getting a situation where you'll actually get far more work done, and you'll actually get far better communication with somebody else. And that's my suggestion to you today. And that is why I talk about something a little bit deeper today, because it does affect people's life in a massive way. It's that if they don't get that right, they're not going to sleep on time. They're going out for drinks with their bosses, drinking alcohol, which messes up the whole week. They eat rubbish, They're all over the place at the weekend and they're binge eating because they don't follow a nutritional structure during the week. This is how you then fix. This is a part of how you fix being healthy over a long period of time. So I hope that helps and it's something maybe you can think about.